It is the most far-flung of the Greek islands, picture-perfect Kastellorizo, its population of just 400, overlooked by the hills of Turkey, just a mile or so away. They've put out the bunting because this is the anniversary of the island's liberation at the end of the Second World War. Greece's national psyche is dominated by a long history of occupation, and now the Home Guard, weaving its way through the parasols, has an old threat in mind. The guest of honour here, Greece's first woman president, is not talking about the Turks invading, and nor is anybody else. Instead, this crisis is offshore, where the Turks are disputing territorial waters and exploring for oil and gas. And so this Greek show of strength, the navy mobilised, a seafaring people fearing they will lose their most precious resource, the sea itself. While the Greek president is visiting her defence forces, her Turkish counterpart, President Erdogan, is demanding access to vast swathes of the eastern Mediterranean. It's a recipe for confrontation and the worst crisis between Greece and Turkey in almost 25 years. Still, the Day of the Cross in the Orthodox calendar carries on regardless, as does the beginning of school amid a global pandemic. But 300 miles from the Greek mainland, a supposedly ceremonial president does not hold back on what she calls Turkey's intimidation and illegal behaviour. President Erdogan has said he has a right to explore for energy off this coastline and he won't be stopped. What is your message to him?
I didn't come here to give any message to President Erdogan. I just came here for the anniversary of the island. But as you put it, we do not make any threats. Greece does not make any threats. We just want peace, and we hope that logic can prevail because we need peace and stability in the region. And of course, we want the dialogue, not under threats.
During her visit, Turkey's defence minister on the left here inspected Kastellorizo from the holiday resort of Kaş. Earlier this month, the minister also flew over the Aegean in an F-16 jet. Turkey was described by Emmanuel Macron of France last week as a resurgent imperial power. The Turkish leader was furious, though he does want to redraw maritime borders for the first time since the Ottoman Empire's collapse.
I hope that those who stand up against Turkey at the cost of risking the safety and welfare of their citizens, I say this clearly, I'm afraid, will not pay a heavy price when the time comes.
You only have to look at the 13,000 migrants awaiting resettlement on the island of Lesbos to know how important preserving relations with Turkey, their country of transit, is. Nobody wants conflict between two NATO allies, but it could happen by mistake. Last month, Turkish F-16s trained their sights on Greek ones in a mock dogfight. The Greeks announced at the weekend that they're buying 18 French jets. From Kastellorizo, Greece's president was taken by boat to another island inhabited solely by Greek soldiers and a herd of goats. At first, we were invited along, but in what seemed like a bid to reduce tension, the plan changed at the last minute. And yet an old Turkish mosque dominates the harbour entrance. The menus in the tavernas are in Turkish because there were so many Turkish tourists before the island was sealed off by COVID. And a local Greek girl recently got engaged to a Turkish boy she met on the ferry over.
There is no problem, people come and go.
So if there was a conflict, it would be a mistake?
If there was a conflict, it would be a silly mistake, and I'll just stay more on the word silly than on the word mistake.
And so Greece's dispute is not so much with the Turks facing them as with President Erdogan himself. This president's opposite number is the most ambitious Turkish leader in almost 100 years, head of an emerging power keen to assert itself on the world stage, including the sea below us.